one, and we are recording. Gus, how are you doing, my man?
Good, brother. How about yourself?
I can't complain. I can't complain. I love the walkthrough that you're doing through the shop there, and there's some interesting stuff sitting in the background.
I'm a pacer.
I've been looking at your shop and your builds, and dude, you build some insane things, man.
I appreciate it, man. I try.
Sheesh. I mean, obviously, we're going to start off on this VW Bug that you built.
Yeah.
And where did this idea come from? I mean, that thing is absolutely insane. Take us through the build, man.
Well, the VW crowds, they're kind of a touchy crowd. You know, they don't like you putting V8s or liquid cooled engines in them, and I just wanted to do something different, and I really wanted to chop a VW. You know, they're just kind of a pain in the butt. It's a hard one to do. It's just like trying to chop a basketball. You know, it's no matter what, it's round and it's a pain in the butt. So I ended up chopping it. I chopped it 6 inches, sectioned it 7 inches, and channeled it 4 inches. So by the time it was done, it was like 35 inches off the ground. The roof height was, somewhere right around there, 40 inches. It was super small car. Weighed in at close to 2,200 pounds. Everything was built from scratch. The suspension, it was full wheel independent suspension, a get rag rear diff, and nag one. It's like a Mercedes style transmission. And steering knuckles were all hand built. The control arms had real long, wide control arms. It was a cool car, really, really fun to drive. And even though it was a 5.7 HEMI, it was, because it's not the most horsepower that you can get. I mean, I could have gone an LS, gone with an LS and had more horsepower, but nobody's really using the 5.7 HEMIs at all either, So it's what I had laying around, and it's what I built, and it was a fun car.
Is that a complete tubular chassis that you built in? Basically, the bug's just the skin that's over that? Or?
Yeah, it's pretty much. Yeah, from the car, you're just using the outer shell of it, and then you have to go back and channel it, so new floors and everything else. And so it was a complete tube chassis.
Now, I've been trying to find photos of the inside. I mean, with that HEMI in the front, I mean, where does your feet and everything go? Are you sitting on the back seat where the back seat would have been at the moment? Or?
Yeah, you're kind of in the back. Your head's about just into the back window, about at the door pillar. It was comfortable once you got in. Now there was no way to look cool getting in and out of that car, but once you're in it, it was comfortable, and it's a blast to drive. Plenty of room once you're in. Bumps, you got to be kind of where your head's only about an inch from the ceiling, depending on how tall you are. So. But once you're in, you're comfortable, and it was a good driver.
A friend of mine had a Ferrari 308 that he wanted me to go fetch for him, and I had to stop him. I had to go put gas into it. Now, I'm just over 6 foot. And when I stopped at the gas station to get out the car, the only way I could basically get out of this Ferrari was to crawl.
Yeah.
There was just no cool way of getting out of this car than falling on the floor and dragging myself out of there.
No, that's what it is.
Yeah, we've got a company in South Africa. I'll send you a link. They're called Stealth Beetle. They actually building. They use the Audi V8 in the back of a Beetle. Okay, they did it originally with a twin turbo motor from the Audi. And now they've actually changed up to the LS3.
Okay.
So you can actually buy the whole floor pan, everything to mount LS3 into the back of it, and the bug just goes over it. You can buy that at a kit form from these guys in South Africa, which is quite interesting. But it sits in the back, so it's more mid-mount than anything else.
Yeah, and the transaxles for that stuff gets pretty expensive. So what's their price tag,
I have no idea. No, absolutely no idea.
No, I got a couple of builds that I want to do, and they all revolve around a mid-engine transaxle and stuff. And then when you start to get into that neighborhood, the prices start going through the roof, and that transaxle stuff's and the common man can't really afford a lot, with that. But pretty soon we'll have these newer Corvettes in the scrap yards. So
Yes, and the parts will be everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. So that's I can't wait for that to happen. So I'm dying to build a mid-engine.
Now, my next question: that black monster that is standing in the back there.
Yep.
Dude, please tell us all. I mean, look at that thing. That is just insane. You had that at SEMA now, didn't you?
Yes, sir. Yeah, yeah. We got sponsored by Line-X, which they did the coating on it, and so they hauled it out to SEMA for us, and it was a pretty cool opportunity. It's a behemoth. It's a cool truck.
What are you running in there? What is the chassis and that stuff? What you got there?
Well, it's all from scratch. There is no chassis. It's more of like a unibody structure. I got 2.5 ton Rockwell military axles, front and rear, with lockers and all that. It runs 46-inch Michelin, same thing, military tires. Powering it, I got a 12 valve Cummins, turned up just a little bit just to keep it, reliable. But yeah, it's all bulletproof. It's all AR 500 steel. The glass is 2.5 inches thick in it, ballistics glass. It's kind of like an end of days vehicle,
It's a zombie apocalypse machine of note.
Exactly. I like doing different stuff, and I'm more interested in even with customer stuff. If it's off the wall and different, then I'm more apt to do it, and turn down more than just the cookie stuff, So.
Exactly. I mean, look, I've looked at you. You've done some sick rat rods and stuff as well. What is the core? I mean, what's the core of your shop? I mean, what is your build with the type of clientele that you normally go for?
I'm in a small town. It's mostly lower end hot rodding stuff. But I build chassis, which is my biggest interest in frames and rolling chassis, and so I do a lot of that in sheet metal work. So,
I looked at your sheet metal work. It's beautifully done. I mean, some of the louvering and stuff that you've done, dude, very nicely done. I mean,
thank you. Yeah, some of it, the customers don't have a budget, so you can only go so far. So the Bug was my car, so I got to build it the way I wanted to. And same with this armored vehicle. Customers kind of there's a budget that you got to stick to, so you can only go so crazy every now and then. So this is like I don't know if you can see this one too. It's a 46 D24 Dodge sedan, and it's getting all the LS2 drive line and everything, and they're fun. I use a lot of the Corvette stuff.
Yeah. And then I see you're busy with another Bug at the back there as well.
Yeah. So that's got an L99 out of a 2017 Camaro. That one ought to be pretty sick because they're running, I think, close to 470 horsepower rear wheel power.
Okay.
So that's about 140 more than what my VW was. So it ought to be pretty scary. But so the chassis is pretty much done on this one. But it's a customer's car. Yeah.
And I mean, the exposure and stuff that you've got with that, when that Beetle of yours that Bug came out, has that really pushed the shop and pushed the levels and guys getting involved with you and everything?
Yeah. It's definitely, I mean, I sold it,
Yeah.
So that was a big thing. But yeah, you're constantly getting people wanting chassis, and it does help. When something like that goes viral, it's just a big push for the shop, and it's kind of a cool deal to have people constantly emailing for chassis, and knowing that you got work for the future is great, So
I was watching that truck you've got in the back. You just passed there. I was watching the sheet metal work that you were doing on that. That's a whole back end and stuff that you built on that one, right?
Yeah. So when you're building in like the 30s era vehicles, trucks, Model A's and stuff, people are so much smaller than. It's like a grown man can't really fit in there and be comfortable and enjoy the vehicle when it's done. So that's like a big thing to do, is at least stretch the cab 4 to 6 inches, depending on the size of the driver. But so I had to completely stretch the cab, and you can't buy parts for those things,
No.
And they're the world's ugliest truck to begin with. So there's a lot of work to get them to look cool. So yeah, so there's a lot of all handmade parts on that one, and we're getting close to body work, and that should be going out here probably in the next 2 months. So we're excited about that.
It looks like the whole process is clean metal right through, replacing rust, rebuilding them. And it looks like, I mean, look, from what I can see from the light stalking that I did, when I went through everything, I mean, you fabricating every piece by hand. Basically.
Yeah, you got to. There's nothing that you can buy for these vehicles, and
yeah, it's not like it's not like the thing, the Fords and stuff that you can just jump on LMC and just buy panels, the Apaches and that type of stuff.
Yeah, the customers are usually at the mercy of for a build like this, they're at the shop's mercy. It's there's only so many people that can do sheet metal work and do it well, and it's hard and it's a longer road and it's more of a battle. But it opens the door to do other cool things, to make those personal touches in the process,
Exactly. To me, that was always a big thing when it comes to custom work. Is you want it to look stock with that slight little change, that slight thing that makes it individual,
Right.
Is that's your rat rod that you've got in the back here? That's sitting next to the truck. Sorry, I just got really excited.
No, that's fine. No, it's
that one.
Yeah, that's a. See, I don't know if I got the camera on it or not.
There we go. Yes.
Yeah. It's a 31 Model A. It's on blocks in the back right now, just so I can move it around the shop. But it's a 350 Dart block, 871 BDS air locker supercharger, dual quick fuel Hollies. It's a pretty stout little car. It's quick.
No, of course. I mean, there's probably no body weight on that. Yeah?
No, I never weighed that one, but it's a couple of the other ones I did all came in around 2,100 pounds. Yeah, it's light and it's completely scary to drive. You can't see nothing. So I mean, there's literally only like a little sliver of windshield when you're in it. So.
Man, you're sitting almost right on the back axle. I mean, that thing must shake the enamel off your teeth, man.
It's a great ride. Yeah, it's fun. The chassis is great though. It handles going down the road great. I actually built it probably 4 years ago now, and the owner lives in the UK.
Yeah.
So he just stores it with me, and he's it's his baby, and when he gets a chance, he flies out and runs it. So it's kind of a cool car, and it's a good one to have around.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. And then what's this one in the middle here that you're busy working on? This 4-door.
This thing?
Yeah. What's?
This is a '67 Rebel Rambler.
Oh wow.
I just literally hauled it out of the woods 3 days ago, and I was going to start something on it, but now I'm pretty sure I'm just going to roll it back into the woods.
It's a little bit worse than what you thought.
Yeah, well, it's it's a battle. You got to figure out where you want to invest your money and what type of car, So it's not really the right one for me right now. So I got plans for another project. So this one will go back out there in a couple more years. When I'm ready, it'll be there.
Exactly. You wake up one morning, it's okay. It's time. It's time. Yeah. Got nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Good. I mean, so what's next on your cards? I mean, so you've done the Bug. You've done this big one. Are you building anything? Have you got anything lined up for SEMA this year? If SEMA's going to happen, I mean, we don't know what's happening with the world.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. We don't know at this point. I still have some phone calls to make and see if I can't get a ride, But yes, I have plans on making. I really just want to build my own vehicles, my own type of vehicle. So build from scratch.
Yeah.
And so that will be the plans. I'll probably do another 4-wheel drive truck, smaller, more along the Jeep, like a Jeep Wrangler size.
Yeah.
And but not armored, but still out of plate steel and a unibody. And I could probably get that done by SEMA if I got a ride, if someone puts a fire underneath me. So,
If you can.
but yeah, I got so much customer stuff going on, and it's hard to keep up. So.
Check, and if you want some inspiration, South Africa had a car or a military truck called the Casper.
Okay.
It looks a lot like that beast you've got at the back there. When I saw, that's the first thing. I'll send you some photos if you want some inspiration.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's some weird stuff out there. The market for the armored stuff is you're kind of, once again, you're at the mercy. There's only 3 or 4 people making them, and they're big companies, and they're extremely expensive. So we just kind of wanted to do something different and see how we could do it and what's the price range we could get into. It's not cheap.
No. Look, and the last thing you want to do, I call them, you don't want to sit with what I call a pig in a skirt, Pig in a skirt. Yeah, it's a car that, everybody loves. They see it, but no one wants to take it home.
Exactly. Yeah, right. Yeah. So we plan on making some changes and do a couple more of them. It's just money and time, and we've gotten a lot of interest from it. It's just nobody's thrown any cash down yet, so we'll see.
No, maybe we'll see one of your trucks in the next Fast and Furious when they're trying to, I don't know, blow up another country or something.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. Yeah, I don't care who buys it.
Exactly. Dude, but that thing is absolutely insane.
And what's the rodder lifestyle there?
Man, the rodding itself has taken a dip. It's all muscle car these days. But if I understand, the US is the same. It's everybody's throwing money into muscle cars. That hardcore rodding thing is just not there at the moment.
Yeah.
And that breaks my heart because I mean my favorite, I love 30s and 40s, man. That's my car. My dream builder was always Rolling Bones, man. That style, that old school hot rod, that's my style. And I would do anything to try and push that as much as possible. But yeah, it's growing. I've had the magazine for 13 years. We've been rodding. There's been hot rods or rods in South Africa since the 1950s.
Mm-hmm.
And because we actually did the research, I've got photos of the first hot rods in the country the 1950s. So, but it was always just a little hobby thing, man. It wasn't an industry, And the only thing we were getting hot rod magazines and street rod magazines from the States, and every now and then a video would come in, on VHS, and that was it.
Yeah.
So, because I'm a second generation rodder, my dad. That's where I got all of this from my dad. This unfortunately looks like the market for 30s and 40 cars just aren't there at the moment. I don't know how that is in the States, man.
It's a shame. Yeah. Once again, I think it's about money and availability and finding somebody to, finding parts and, whatever else. What's your, I mean, that's all I like to build is I like to be in the 30s and 40s, but I also do it for like a law stamp, as far as like the laws go, because if I'm older than a 46, I can run open tires and there's no like windshield height. It's really way more lenient to build what you want, So anything over 46, then you're, ground height, bumper height, and windshield chopping a car might be out, so they get pretty strict after that. And I love open wheels. I love the looks of open wheel cars.
Same here.
That's the epitome of a rod to me. It's got to be open tires, and.
I'm stuck between 30s open wheel and then like late 40s. I mean, my first hot rod was a 49 Chev Fleetline. But the fastback one, the long, I think it's Canadian body with a long flat back. I had one of those with 350 Chevy motor and gearbox, and I missed that car. I actually found it, and I know the guy would sell it to me, but unfortunately, thanks to COVID, I'm broke and I can't buy it. But I will go get it one day. You know, I'll get it back home again.
At least you know where it's at. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, the guy hasn't touched it since I bought it. Since I sold it, the car's exactly the same. He hasn't touched it at all. It looks exactly the same.
Huh.
Because that was my biggest nightmares. Because I mean, I had it flat black, white walls. You know, I tried to take the guy before me street rodded it badly. So I tried to take it back as old school as possible to get it to lead sled. And my biggest fear was some guy was going to buy it and stick 22s on it, and you know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, so I was happy to see it. It stayed the way it is, you know.
Yeah, that's cool. That's kind of rare too.
Yeah. Dude, thank you so much for taking the time. I don't want to keep you from your work too much. It's been an absolute pleasure. And yeah, let me know when you've got something again. If cards play out great, I'm joining you guys at SEMA this year, and hopefully I'll see you guys there. You know?
Oh, awesome, absolutely.
Yeah, I have to get my butt through to that side, man. All right.
All right, bro.
Okay, guys. Thanks, mate. Cheers.